Hey, how's it going? I'll just back in with another sequence video. This one is also in Isaiah 45. So within this one chapter, the sequence appears twice, which is absolutely incredible, which again goes to show that there's no way I'll be able to find all of them. There could potentially be, thousands. I'm in the hundreds at this point, but it's just amazing to me every time, I interact with somebody and then I read a verse or a set of verses, even if it's not prophetic. It ends up encoding this sequence of the end times, which is amazing, which is comes from Revelation, the book of Revelation. Isaiah 45, 4 to 25, I just highlighted the parts that affirm the sequence. Verse 4, and again, this is in verse 4, not by chance, because 4, 14, 44, 144 oftentimes represent God's elect. And they're mentioned in this verse. For Jacob, my servant's sake, and Israel, mine elect. I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. Okay, and so right away we have a reference to the elect, and then in verse 8 we have a reference to salvation. Drop down, ye heavens, from above, and let the skies pour down righteousness. This is symbolic of the so-called angels, where Christ appears in the sky. And so drop down, ye heavens, from above, and let the skies pour down righteousness, with these angels. Let the earth open, and let them bring forth salvation. Essentially, this dome, this firmament that we live under is going to be quote unquote cracked. And let righteousness spring up together. This is salvation up together. I, the Lord, have created it. So salvation is God's idea. And it's an amazing thing, that we could potentially witness that. Now we're going to talk about a time of great tribulation, or the wrath of God. So 1 Thessalonians 5:9 says the elect are not appointed unto wrath. And so they're taken away prior to wrath. And then the wrath begins. And then we have that here in verse 9. Woe unto him that striveth with his maker. Let the potsherds strive with the potsherds of the earth. Shall the clay say to him that fashioned it, what makest thou? Or thy work, he hath no hands. Okay, so this is now man striving with God, the beginning of it. Okay, in verse 9. And woe unto them that do that, which is destruction. Verse 10. Woe unto him that saith unto his father, what begettest thou? Or to the woman, what hast thou brought forth? Okay. And so this is people that are ultimately questioning God. Why are you doing this? All this kind of stuff, time of confusion and all that kind of stuff. And then some that won't even acknowledge God. And so read Revelation 16 to get a better understanding of the purpose of those plagues, is to distinguish and delineate the two groups of people, God's left-hand side from the mixed multitude, those that remain. Verse 14, thus saith the Lord, the labor of Egypt. Okay, so now we have a reference to Egypt, which is modern day America, and merchandise. And then so now we have a reference to America, modern day Egypt, and merchandise of Ethiopia and of the Sabaeans, men of stature, shall come over unto thee, and they shall be thine. They shall come after thee, in chains they shall come over, and they shall fall down unto thee. They shall make supplication unto thee, saying, surely God is in thee, and there is none else, there is no God. So in the last days, this is coded language for Egypt, merchandise, and they shall fall down unto thee. And so America falling. And so after this time of woe and destruction, America is going to be destroyed. And so that's prophesied here in verse 14. And then verse 16, they shall be ashamed and also confounded, all of them. They shall go to confusion together that are makers of idols. And so America is essentially like the headquarter of idolatry in the world. And so this is the time where it's going to be destroyed. And so now we're going to need references to Christ returning with his elect to fight in the kingdom. And then, big shocker, that's what we get. Verse 17, but Israel shall be saved. So now we have a reference to Israel again, because it's needed, because, Christ returns with his elect. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. So this is a everlasting salvation. But it's put in that place also to reaffirm the sequence. Verse 20, assemble yourselves and come, draw near together. And so they're returning and they're assembling together for battle. Ye that are escaped of the nations, so that those that were saved, they have no knowledge that set up the wood or of the graven image. They have no knowledge that set up the wood of the graven image and pray unto a God that cannot save. So it's like a vain to worship any other God but the God of the Israelites, according to the God of the Israelites. So just know that. Verse 24, surely shall one say, in the Lord have I righteousness and strength. This is in verse 24, 44, for God's elect. Surely shall one say, in the Lord I have righteousness and strength, returning in these so-called UFOs. Even to him shall men come, and all that are incensed against him shall be ashamed. And so this is the final wrath of God, where Christ returns, the Lord, with his elect. and all that are incensed against him shall be ashamed. Okay. Verse 25, this is the kingdom. In the Lord shall all the seed of Israel be justified and shall glory. So now we have a reference to the kingdom in the last verse. So, Isaiah 45, the one chapter, it has a sequence twice. Absolutely amazing. Hope everyone's doing well. Bye.